Hello, Coach Vusi here. Welcome. We are discussing Eco 10B. We are finalizing the very last part of study unit 6. If you are watching the previous lesson, you would have noticed that it did cut because of the lack of storage capacity in our camera. So, before you continue with this video, go back to the previous lesson, watch the last 10 minutes so that you can be able to follow, because we are only finalizing, we are not starting afresh here. Okay, welcome. All right. Our final calculations here were based in the study guide, activity 6.6a, and we're supposed to calculate the autonomous spending, which we did, and we found that it's 500 million. Okay, and then this is not the calculation of autonomous expenditure, by the way. I'm just saying we added the 100 million for autonomous consumption plus 200 million for investment spending plus 150 million for government spending plus 50 million for autonomous net exports. When you add those, please look at the work that I'm talking about so that this thing makes sense to you. So we found that it's 500 million. And then we calculated the multiplier. I did wrap off the calculations of the multiplier, but we found that our multiplier is 2. And then we did calculate the equilibrium level of income. Now this is the calculation of the equilibrium level of income, where equilibrium level of income equals to the multiplier, which is 2, times autonomous expenditure, those ones, which is 500,000. So our equilibrium level of income is 1,000 million. I don't know if there's such a number, but yeah. Okay, cool. Now, the last question there says, calculate the change in government spending required to acquire or to attain full employment. Remember, they gave us a full employment amount, which is 1.6 million. Okay? I did put it here, but you can look at your study guide. 1.6 million. So this is the full employment amount. This is the equilibrium level of income. There's a difference between the two. Okay? Now, they are saying by how much government spending should increase in order to move from equilibrium level of income to full employment, or to cover that gap. How much government spending is needed. So I said this is the formula. The formula is a change in aggregate expenditure or a change in government expenditure. It's up to you which one you're going to use. Or if they said how much investment is going to be needed, you can say a change in investment. Okay? But I'm also saying you're allowed to say, because each of these, they form part of autonomous expenditure. Basically what they are saying is that how much autonomous expenditure must change, by how much it must change in order to cause the covering of that gap between equilibrium level and full employment level. Okay? So, for your interest's sake, let's use the change in government expenditure as required by the information there. Change in government expenditure that is needed, we say this is the formula. The formula is the change in income over the multiplier. Let's check. What is the change in income? Is the difference between this and this, which is 600 million. The difference between equilibrium level of income and full employment level of income. So that is the change in income. So in full, you can write 1.6 minus 1,000. Okay? And then what is our multiplier? Our multiplier is 2. And then what is our answer there? 600 divided by 2. So it's 300 million. So government expenditure must change by 300 million. Or there must be an additional 300 million on government expenditure in order to cause us to move from equilibrium level of income to a full employment level of income. Remember, the equilibrium doesn't mean that it's the desired position. The desired position is the full employment level. So the equilibrium is where we find ourselves. But the desired position is the full employment level of income. Okay? So, can you see? There's not so many formulas. I mean, the calculation of the multiplier, we have mastered it in this lesson. We have done the multiplier without government, multiplier with government, multiplier with the foreign sector, and it keeps on being the same. And then the other thing, so you need to catch the formulas of those multipliers. And then the other formulas that you need to catch are simple, these ones. First, you need to know what forms aggregate expenditure, especially the autonomous part. You need to know that one. You need to know the formula for equilibrium level of income. You need to know the formula for... Okay, we haven't used this formula. We used that one, which is this one. Now, what if, and now they are saying, if we are given a change in government expenditure, there's a change in government expenditure, okay? And we are looking for a change in income or a change in equilibrium level of income to reach full employment. The formula you are using is that you start with what you don't have. Let me just do this. Change in income. When you are looking for a change in income, that will be caused by a change in government expenditure or investment expenditure or aggregate expenditure or any of those ones. Then the formula is exactly the same formula, but this time multiplier times a change in aggregate expenditure or government expenditure in this case. Because now we are looking for these. What we are looking for is always before the equal sign. What is on the other side of the equal sign, usually it's what we have. So now we go. We say 2 times 300 million and then equals to how much? 600 million. So our change in income will be 600 million. Is that a lie? Isn't the change in income that we did find that is actually the case? So here we did not have, here we had a change in income and we wanted how much government expenditure will be needed to cause that change. Okay? Now we have a change in government expenditure. We want to know the cause that it will have in the change in income. So these formulas are a reverse of each other. Okay? I don't know if I'm leaving anything. Just to touch a little bit. All those little letters, your little c, your little t, your little m, and what else? All of them, remember, they don't form part of the autonomous expenditure. They form part of the multiplier. You just have to know which one fits where in the multiplier. These ones. Your marginal propensity to consume, your tax rate, and your marginal propensity to import. Okay? Remember that. And then what else? I think we've covered everything. If you go back to this very last portion of the lesson, in this video and the previous one, there's no way that you won't be able to answer that question in the assignment that deals with the multiplier and all these things, because they are all covered in this lesson. Okay? But you're welcome to come back to me with questions.